Hello. It's general easy and well. Let's get to it. As you can see, the title of the video, Obama had notes. Just a reminder to keep eyes on the prize. Diarrhea, apparently, that's a new disease ravaging people out there, and it basically affects your breathing and your heart. That twilight connection over there. Yeah. So that whole George Floyd situation, it was a ritual, right? I can't breathe, right? And as usual, Israel had to threaten the whole world out in public by affecting the heart somehow, right? That ritualistic twilight situation, back again at it. But we know these people. We know how they operate, right? You as the people who watch or who have heard what I've said, you are equipped to fight this war. At least you see through the fog what is and what isn't. Yes. So there's a saying that is common along the QAnon cycles, where we go one, we go all. And that, of course, echoes the same oath that these angels saw after they were before they were cast out of heaven, okay, as their leader, right? As Apollo was trying to convince them to come onto earth and to have children, they saw an oath, okay? They saw an oath that they would suffer, all of them equally, the same punishment, all of them equally, right? That's the oath they swore to themselves, right? I don't know, it's mutual ramification or something. Okay? And of course there's a title that has been given to Apollo that is not deserving. Okay, actually Lucifer is a heavenly title. Okay, Lucifer is a heavenly title. Okay, so it's not his name. His name is Apollo, right? That's the beast, or Apollo or Artemis. Either way, it's the same person. Okay, and of course kwa naona saga ya chama cha walimu zinavyo unfold kuanzia kipindi kile, wanapigana wanafungiana kwenye vikao, and I've heard nothing, and that's concerning from my partner. Na mara ya mwisho nasikia walikualika rais, but I don't know, you had to cancel something. Okay, let's move on to the pictures. Today's lesson, right? We see more and more Nazi tendencies, that are used all over the world, not just with these people, but a lot, right? It's the same tactics because it's the same people doing the same thing. This is what apparently they dropped. And of course the clay and the iron will not cleave. The watery clay kingdom is not going so well. Okay, just remember this. Okay, remember this. Okay, so the agenda seems to be speeding up, right? Of course they are showing more CGI, just like what they have been doing with their space situation, with their Space Force situation. Well, we know now that it is more of information warfare and psych warfare more than anything, really. Right? So we have this hot piece of news, and apparently the Obamas had notes on this movie that is making headlines for various reasons, but as usual, things it became my burden, since everybody seems to be missing the mark as usual. Well, that is the burden of the prince. That's how I stand out. God gives them just blips of information, but the prince is given a whole, right? So me being a leader is a thing that I was unable to do, right? In a supernatural sense. So let's talk about this movie. Right? So let's talk about the deer first. The deer. It's an important part of the movie, right? The deer represents many things in the Bible. It's agile, graceful, and beautiful. It also portrayed as a creature that longs for water and to be satisfied in spiritual thirst. In addition, the deer is often used as a metaphor for God's love and protection, right? That's the deer in the Bible, in the context, In the Shinto, deer is considered messengers to the gods in the Shinto, especially Kasuga Shrine in the Nara Prefecture, where the white deer had arrived from Kashima Shrine as its divine messenger. Okay, so divine messengers, we have that angelic connotation, right? Judaism, the tribe of Naphtali bore a stag on its tribal banner and was poetically described as a hind in the blessing of Jacob, right? The blessing of Jacob. Okay, all of this will make sense. Just follow me. Okay, we move on. In the insular Celt, have stories involving supernatural deer who are associated with spiritual figure, right? And spirit or deities who may take the form of deer, right? Spiritual deities. So there is a spiritual aspect to deer, more than what it seems. In some Scottish and Irish tales, deer are seen as fairy cattle, right? Even we see Santa, and we see Santa Claus using deer, right? Reindeer, they say, and are herded by and milked by totally benevolent, otherworldly women, such as being Seithe, or in other cases the goddess Fridias, who can shapeshift into form of a red and white deer. In the West Highland, this woman of the other world selects the individual deer who will be slain in the next day's hunt. Okay? In folk tales, in folk and tales. Okay, this is just a summary of cultures across the world. Okay, even here in Africa. A deer it usually appears in a fairy tale as a form of a princess who has been enchanted by a benevolent fairy or witch. Okay, so the woman. Okay, so they're given examples here, right? In the French, in the Scottish, sometimes it represents disguised as a prince. Okay, so there's a prince and princess aspect to deers, to deer. Okay, prince and princess and the woman. Okay, so prince, princess, woman, enchantment. Okay, so those are the things that we carry, right? A deer can also appear as a helper, such as an Italian fairy tale, right? So, in mythology, right? So remember, we have prince, princess, enchantment, and the woman, okay, which is a witch. Yeah. Deer in mythology. Deer has significant role in mythology in various people located all over the world, such as object of worship, the incarnation of deities, and the object of heroic quest and deeds, as a magical disguise or enchantment curse for princes and princes. Yeah, in many folks and fairy tales. Yeah? The deer also symbolized as a connection to the supernatural, the other world, or the fairy realm, right? Being a messenger of an entity's familiar, right? Entity's familiar. So messenger, we have that repeating theme. Okay, so more another thing it is added there, right? So when we see a deer, we see a messenger, we see a prince, we see a princess, we see the woman, we see enchantment. Okay, we see these 5 things. Okay, are we together? So let's move on. So here we have the depiction of Artemis, right? Artemis. We have the moon, and of course we have her shooting the bow, right? Because we know that Artemis and Apollo are mighty hunters. Okay, even Nimrod was a mighty hunter. What was he hunting for? Okay, now this is the revelation. Okay, this is a picture of Artemis, and what is in the picture there? A deer, right? Look at this, a sculpture of Artemis. Okay, taking out her arrows, and of course holding the deer by its horns, right? That means he has control over the deer, right? Of course, now another important concept that we need to understand, right? Masons love pillars, 2 pillars. They love them for some reason, besides the black and white checkerboards as you've seen here. Okay, they love pillars, right? So it's important. Okay, that will come in handy later on. Right? So we have the covers of the movie Inception. Okay, what do we have? Pillars, right? These 2 towers of high rises, and he's walking through that. Okay, he's walking through, he's initiating, it's an initiation movie, right? He's initiating that little girl into this world, but that initiation was for his own benefit. Okay, I will describe to you what they're saying. Okay, now this is one cover of the movie, right? And of course we have water rising, right? That can be code for the storm, meaning the prince, right? The prince causes a magnetic change in the atmosphere, causing storms, right? Or it can also be the push, the agenda for crying wolf for global warming and stuff. Yeah. This is another cover for Inception, right? This is another cover for Inception. We have people. We have Leonardo DiCaprio standing between 2 people, between 2 pillars, right? That's why they're facing away, because they are objects, right? What makes them people is their faces, okay? It's their faces. So they're turning away, meaning they are objects, and he's the person, right? He's the person. So he's standing between 2 pillars also, even in this cover, right? from the dream to the real, right? That talk of fairy tale world or realm or whatever, right? And of course we have the devil's horseman featured vehicles, of course, in the whole movie, right? And what people have been talking about mostly is this scene here where a huge ship comes in, right? And on the ship there are big words written, white lion, right? Yeah. And people are running away from it, right? Because it's a huge vessel and it doesn't seem to be slowing down and it's coming towards them. And of course we have this child wearing NASA attire, right? The lie, okay? The lie, right? Trust me, I'm going somewhere with this. Yeah. And what do we have here? Yeah. We have a road, right? That is bumpy, right? It's quite weird. It is distorted, yeah. Just like in the Inception cover, right? There's a distortion, and in the far background we see the Tesla vehicles, yeah. And of course we see a man and a woman standing between two pillars, right? Two pillars. And of course we have the guy in blue. That is the prince. Okay, now they might switch and make anybody the prince, but you shall get my point. Okay, and what do we have over there? We have deer. What is that about, right? So let's look at another cover. Look at this. Now here, I think now you can start to make sense, right? It's literally the Inception cover, right? It's the Inception cover. Yeah, we have the world bending and we have the deer in the middle of the road. Why is the deer in the middle of the road? Because lights do something to deer, right? Lights from vehicles, they make them freeze. Yeah, it's some sort of mind control. It's some sort of magic trick that the woman can use to mesmerize the deer, right? So you're starting to get the picture. I mean, look at this cover and look at this. It's literally the same thing, right? It's literally the same thing. So there is the aspect of time travel here that people are missing, yeah, and that is Operation Warp Speed. Okay, so what about the boat? The controversial boat. Okay, so most people make that connection, yeah. And of course there's truth, right? Not just in the numbers. The numbers are mirrors, right? 16 and 19, they are literally mirrors. Okay, so that's when the operation of the beast initiated, right? They came here into Africa, right? They stole some people, crossing fingers, hoping that they even aimed for loyalty, right? They aimed for loyalty. They took loyal families. Some were killed, some were kidnapped and sold as slaves across the world. But they made sure that they decimated the kingdoms, yeah, in whatever ways possible, right? So that's what is happening here. So they took some of these people from the kingdom of Israel and basically sold them as slaves, many than what the official number states, right? A lot more, right? So they don't want to ask because it would account to a genocide if the actual true numbers were, the actual figures were given. It would cause an uproar, to be honest. Okay, so here's where they end. Okay, but the code is in the name, right? We have to go deeper, right? White lion, the white lion. What do you get from that? White horseman, lion, the crown. Okay, so you're starting to get the picture now, right? So this whole movie is about the prince. Easy. It's about the prince. Literally. Why would they have this over here? Why? Because it's about the prince. Yeah, it's about the prince. Okay, they want to bend time. Yeah, the prince. Okay, so of course we see them doing it. Yeah, they're rewriting and they're even showing similarities and stuff. You can see the guy's thumbnail is actually the disc that people sent to space to communicate with aliens. It's the guy's thumbnail. And of course he's trying to make a correlation between what is the events in the Bible and what the Anunnaki and stuff did. It's funny. It's funny. And what do we have here? We have Prince in a bike and we have a woman over there, right? So it's all about that. It's all about enchantment. Just like Paul, right? A woman standing in the balcony. That is technically it's a balcony, right? And tempting Jezebel, tempting the guy to either move on or to stop and go up, right? And we shall talk about one of his songs and we shall decipher his lyrics, okay, and what is going on, make it clear. So this is a song by these guys, Tears for Fears. Everybody wants to rule the world, right? Okay, we have somebody sitting in a chair being phased out by time, and the other one just standing still and having no effect, right? So if you read through these lyrics, you can pause the video and go through them, but this is a message to the prince, and nobody will get this message unless you are the intended target. You won't get this message. Welcome to your life, they are telling me now. Okay, welcome to your life. There is no turning back. I don't disagree. Even while we sleep, we'll find you. Okay, even while we sleep, we'll find you. So they operate in the real world. They are trying to find me, and in the spirit world, they are trying to find me, right? And acting on your best behavior, acting on your best behavior, right? Being the prince like I'm supposed to be, right? Obeying the commands that I'm given to give, right? Turn your back on Mother Nature. Turn your back on Mother Nature. Okay, we know Mother Nature is Babylon, the whore, right? The whore, mother of abomination. That is Mother Nature. Because through nature they try to even describe these false teachings like evolution, okay, but let's not veer that way, okay. And he goes on to say everybody wants to rule the world, right? So he's talking to a person that is interested in ruling the world, right? He's talking about a person who is interested in ruling the world, but this person is acting in best behavior, and he's against Mother Nature, and he seems to have a problem with that, apparently, right? And then he goes on to say, it's my own desire, it's my own remorse, help me decide, right? Help me make the most of the freedom and of the pleasure. Nothing ever lasts forever. Everybody wants to rule the world, right? So he says that whatever pursuits that are made are in vain, because nothing ever lasts and something always goes wrong. That's what they say, right? And then he goes on to offer a solution, right? Remember, this is the lyrics from this song, yeah? And he says, there's a room where the light won't find you. Okay? He says, there's a place where they can hide so that the prince cannot be found, yeah? And in this place where there's no light, basically in the darkness, he's offering a hand in friendship, holding hands while the walls come tumbling down, because they know the walls will come tumbling down and there's nothing we or they can do about it, right? And they say, and he says, when they do, I'll be right there, behind you, right? So glad we have almost made it. Yeah, so sad they had to fade it. Everybody wants to rule the world, right? So he wants to take the Prince of Light to turn them into darkness for their own benefits. Yeah, and they want to use the prince for their survival, right? And he goes on to say, I can't stand this indecision, married with the lack of vision, right? Married with the lack of vision. Everybody wants to rule the world. So say that you'll never, never, never need it. One headline, why believe it? Everybody wants to rule the world, right? Expression of power here. I will never, never what? Backslide on the new proposal or what? Everybody wants to rule the world. All for freedom and for pleasure. Nothing lasts forever. Everybody wants to rule the world. Yeah, these are the lyrics from this song, right? This is the repeating theme, right? So we shall look at what this guy wrote in the song Purple Rain, right? So it goes on to say, honey, I know, times are changing, right? It's time we all reach out for something new, right? It's the same type of thinking like here, right? Where he says, welcome to your life, no, there's no turning back, right? And he goes on straight to the solution. It's time we all reach out for something new, meaning that they're making an effort to make something new, to coexist with humanity or something, right? And he says, of course, it involves me too, the prince, yeah? That's why he is called the prince, because he's the letter. He's the letter. He's just a letter, okay? That's what he has been doing his whole career, right? So this is the letter to the Prince of Judah. from the whole Babylon. Believe it or not, people. Right? I'm an artist, I'm a lyricist, I know. Okay? And he says, you say you want a leader, but you can't seem to make up your mind, right? You can't seem to make up your mind. The theme repeats, right? It says here, I can't stand this indecision, married without with lack of a vision, right? You're getting what I'm talking about now, right? And I think you better close it, right? They think that I should stop talking. That's why the whole operation of putting a mask over your mouth is to make, that means shut up. It's a muzzle. Literally, that's why those things are offensive. It's a muzzle. They don't help you against bioweapons, people. Come on. Okay, if I've not said that, so please stop embarrassing yourself by putting these diapers on your face. Right? And he says, I better close my mouth. And he should let me guide to the purple rain. Now you should substitute that word rain with rain, okay? Rain as in the reign of kings, yeah? Not rain as in water, no. Okay, so this song is purple rain, right? Purple is the color of royalty, right? So it says purple rain, yeah? If you know what I'm singing about up here, come on, raise your hands. Purple rain, I only want to see you in the purple rain. So this is the letter, right? This is the letter, yeah? Times are changing. It's time to reach out for something new, right? It's the same remarks as help me decide, help me make the most of freedom and pleasure and whatnot, yeah? And there's a room where the light won't find you. It's the same thing here. Let me guide you. It's initiation, like I've been saying. It's initiation, yeah? It's initiation, just like what they did to Nimrod, yeah? They destroyed that man. Even Samson, they destroyed that man, right? They know a direct confrontation does not work, so they try to use other ways, yeah? Women being one of them. So it's a whole situation I have on my hands. Okay, it's a whole situation I have in my hands. So we are back. It's a cycle. It's a cycle. So we can explore more. Of course, the deer is important to Artemis. We have the deer over here with big antennae, right? So, people, the devil is very real. Okay, the devil is very real, and his cunning has come to an end, right? In other words, if I was not shown these things, if I did not receive with an open heart what God had told me about their plans, we wouldn't be having this conversation. I wouldn't have the understanding that I have now, you know. So keep your eyes on the prize, okay? You can't save Israel without leaders. You can't. It has never been done. Right? It has never been done. You know it as much as I know it. So if there is redemption at the end of this road for Israel, the children of God, then who will be at the helm? Okay, so that is the biggest secret that these people have been keeping from the entire world. Okay, they are looking. Okay, now they have found me, right? So the operation now can move on. It can evolve, okay, to many branches that I can't even start to understand. Okay, but that's none of my concern. Okay, the only important thing is I've been told not to trust these people, because if they are literally making movies about manipulating me and initiating me to the dark side, we have a problem in our hands, people. Okay, remember when Nimrod was turning to the dark side, what happened? What happened? A lot of people got hurt. So this is a good thing that we know what these people are planning. It's a good thing that we know and we understand the symbolism. Yeah, we understand the symbolism of what they are planning and what they are doing in the dark. Yeah, and well, let me address it. Okay, now I know about the whole plan of you beings trying to get back to heaven by somehow proving to me personally that you are capable of love despite being not in grace. Somehow I am your ticket to you going upstairs or even remaining here on earth. Well, like you said, welcome to my life. There's no turning back. And the introduction to my life has been pretty dark. And you people are responsible for some pretty dark things. Dark things, really dark. Okay, really dark. And you did it for pleasure, like you said. You killed people. You drank their blood just for pleasure. And now somehow you want me to, somehow along that line, find some way of reasoning to become your instrument, your friends. I see what you're playing at. It's like obvious to me, and manipulation is not helping your idiotic cause. It just proves the type of people you are. You are not to be trusted, ever, with anything. Right? So, I wish you bad luck on every turn. On every turn, on every trap you set, fall on it yourself. There's no initiation, there's no dark side, nothing. So you say, you're going to use this guy, you're going to use your Messiah to somehow convince me you're good. your Messiah is gonna turn on you. Yeah, I know you're gonna use Trump somehow. He's too clean, right? He doesn't drink, he doesn't use drugs, so he says. On the outside, to most people, he's righteous. He's righteous, he's fighting for a good cause. But again, it's just a Trojan horse. It's a Trojan horse. Okay? Now your plan is so screwed. Like, I don't even know how can you even recover. I have no idea. You are left with some options, of course. But I'm already on them. You see? So, best of bad luck to you. And to Israel. Pray for me. These people are insane. These people they're insane. They're out of their minds. That's what they are. They're out of their minds. So this is the end of them. There's no ritual, there's no nothing. There's just the pit waiting for you. And, I'm not going to compromise that for anything. You understand? I'm not going to compromise that for anything. So, I know you have thrown stuff my way to try to strong arm me. But that's just making it worse. You have just made it worse. Okay, so tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Your time is almost up. Prince Easy signing out. Israel, love you. Bye.